Salim. I'm Denise Manton. I'm from, as you said, from TSSG, which we're in Waterford Institute of Technology. What I'll just move quickly through the beginning of this because I know our time is short, but if you do need to know anything more about TSSG afterwards, just come up and ask me. So we're a pretty large research centre. We have 120 people in the organisation and we're focused on ICT. In WIT there are other research organisations within our group. We've had a lot of economic impact in the region. We've had a lot of innovation partnerships through Enterprise Ireland. So we work a lot with companies and we work a lot at the European research level as well on Horizon 2020 and FP7 programmes. Obviously the big one that stands out here is the 26 billion by 2017. So it's a massive, massive market. There is a lot of investment in it. There's more increasing numbers of downloads. Giving an example there from the iOS platform, 3 million free. The paid has somewhere to go. That's the big challenge with any type of app is, are you willing to pay for it? And that's a bit of a challenge that needs to be addressed in the health space. So on the use of digital technology, as I said, it is increasing. You can see 9 in 10 in the US are actually using some form of digital technology. So it's a positive and it's going in the right direction. The apps by category. So if you look at what apps are actually out there, the biggest one, the most dominant area is in fitness. So again, smartwatches, Fitbits, activity trackers. That's a big market at the moment. But a lot of what we're downloading again is still free. So there's the rest of the areas have a little bit to catch up on, and especially on the disease specific and on chronic diseases as well, which Nick was talking about. Obviously it's a massive market, but there isn't a huge amount of mHealth apps that are suitable or that are tried and tested out there at the moment. So again, this is just emphasising that fitness is literally running away with it at the moment. It is saying that this statistic doesn't reflect what I asked a moment ago in the room here, but 45% of people have some sort of fitness band, be it, as I say, Fitbit, Jawbone, whatever it may be. So there is an increase, and there's more familiarity then with these types of devices and wearables. And again, Accenture, the report this year, emphasising that fitness, diet, wellness, that type of area is the area that is dominating in mHealth at the moment. So, chronic disease. Nick went into some of the details there and the statistics on that. So, it's a huge market, but the biggest issue, I suppose, here is the behavioural changes that are associated with chronic diseases and with mHealth around chronic disease management. The biggest thing here is for an mHealth app to enable people to change their behaviour to improve chronic disease management. And so this also emphasises mHealth as a broad skill set. It's not just technology. It's not just regulation, it's also the behavioural side of things as well, and what can be actually delivered from there, and that collective of delivering something of value. There's another area here that Google are moving more and more into, and that's in artificial intelligence. So eventually the forecast is that we will be dealing with artificial intelligence health advisors, so that there is a huge amount of machine learning. So this is a very interesting area that, again, a big part of this would be trust. Do we trust an artificial intelligence health advisor in what they're coming back to us? So I think we're quite away from that, but it is something that is coming down the line, and big players are actually investing in it, so it's something to watch out for. So again, there's some major partnerships going on this. So I talk about collaboration and the collective nature of any type of mHealth project. So these are just a few that I pulled out on the respiratory side. Again, Nick mentioned about respiratory. The first three are all in the smart inhaler space, and a lot of this has only happened in the last 6 months to a year. So there's a huge amount of companies moving into smart inhalers and actually delivering those to the patient. But again, I don't actually know of anybody who's using a smart inhaler right now. So it's not quite on the market, or it's not quite market ready that it's readily available for the general public. The doctor isn't prescribing a smart inhaler right now. But there is a huge amount of emphasis on it, and it's to keep an eye on what's happening in this area. So looking at our expectations, we probably have quite high expectations at this point. We're a little bit like this guy, that our expectations might be exceeding what's actually possible. So expectations for everybody is going to be a little bit different. I know I want to be able to monitor my health in real time. We're looking at embedded sensors in the body. We're looking at very easy patches, electronic patches that can track various vital signs. You want that information now. You want your doctor to have that information. You want a consultant to have that information, and all in real time and integrated with a healthcare record. So that's what I want. A lot of other people. So usability of these issues then is, or of these apps, is a critical point. There is a stat that you have only 2 or 3 seconds to capture any user with any type of app. So our expectations from using apps in other areas, be it financial, be it retail, whatever the sector is, our expectations are generally very high of an app. So we want the same in any type of mHealth app that is delivered to us. So interoperable, it needs to be interoperable. There's a lot of talk about electronic health records. So we need interoperability there, which is a big ask due to the nature of the broad nature of health issues, and of course high level of data security and safety and regulation around what we do. So there's this is just an infographic I came across, and one of the key items I like with this one is in the far corner there are 81% are more likely to use the device if it's prescribed by a healthcare professional. So I think the involvement of the healthcare professional in any of this is vital to the success of any type of mHealth solution. So that is key, and it's something that we're looking at as well when we're doing any of these type of projects, that we involve the clinicians in our decisions. So the perceived barriers that are out there, funding is always going to be a barrier that I think everyone faces, although there is a lot of funding in the overall connected health space at the moment, but getting that funding can be quite difficult. So I've talked about interoperability, the regulatory framework. I see Fergal from Lero here as well, so I have huge experience on the regulatory side of building in security as well and safety into any type of software medical device, or we look at mobile medical device apps as well. So that's a big part where we have the expertise in Ireland to actually collaborate and deliver something of value here. Some of the other areas then that are perhaps causing issues would be the business model. You know, how are people going to pay for this? There's obviously fears from maybe doctors, consultants as well. How are they going to charge, or how is this going to affect them? That's something that hasn't been defined right now. And I think the best way of going about that is in small pilot type projects to actually see how does this work instead of a big bang approach. Another area that's causing some issues is the lack of clinical evidence. And the lack of clinical evidence is hugely important because there's so many apps out there right now, but how do we know if they're any good? There's no or very little clinical evidence on the great majority of mHealth apps that are out there to actually inform us whether they're effective in doing what they need to be doing. So there's a few other issues there as well that I'm going to keep moving on with helping to meet our expectations. So our big thing is improving or involving, I should say, patients, clinicians, and addressing the unmet clinical needs at the outset and what we need to do there. And that involvement with people at the beginning is so important of bringing everybody together. Building safe software. As I mentioned, I came from the life science sector, and when you come from that sector, patient safety is just ingrained in you. And I think there's a huge educational element for any software developer who hasn't been in that environment before. And if they're building mHealth apps, there is a huge educational part here that's needed to make sure that these apps that are being developed are safe and fit for purpose. So the other areas that we look at, this is obviously a growing ecosystem. It's huge and it has potential to be huge. But it's we develop what we call microservice architectures that are program language agnostic. So it helps that level of, there's so many legacy systems out there and trying to integrate with them. That type of lightweight architecture, which is a low footprint, helps us do this in little stages so that it's not some major rework involved in meeting those expectations. So again, some of the other things that we've already talked about, so it's addressing the interoperability, the security, the regulatory aspect as well of how we can deliver something that's safe, fit for purpose, and that can be validated in a way that it would be then have that stamp of approval from the FDA or any of the, or the EMA or any of the regulatory bodies that are out there. A key element, of course, then I talked about usability, is the UI and UX design. So in TSSG we have a dedicated creative development unit that focus solely on usability. They storyboard up, they look at what the user needs, the flow of the app. So we work closely with those guys on developing something that is in fact usable at the end of the day. So some of the areas to watch for TSSG are this initial one, which is med.io. So this is a cloud-based platform that facilitates real-time communication with sensorized device for drug delivery systems. This is targeted at pharmaceutical or medical device companies whose expertise may not be, and most likely aren't in this area. So they're looking to acquire the expertise, or they're looking to partner with other companies. There's a growing need for pharma companies to track their devices and how patients are actually using it. So we did do a project around a smart inhaler, and that was BLE enabled, and it was quite an interesting project from us because it involved working on the hardware side. We're software focused, but we worked with the hardware engineers as well to deliver a solution in this area. So again, the data analytics that has to happen on that platform is critical to success there. We look at pulling other information from the environment, as I say, if it's asthma, what, or humidity, or is there pollen count, what's in the air, bringing all that information together. Another one we're looking at is the point of care and supporting clinicians. So in the interest of time, I'll move quickly through these. So we're looking at how we can harness the power of the phone, our smartphone, as is. So we've got voice, we've got camera, and then we're looking at maybe add-ons. So there is software out there on the voice side that is nano voice, it's called, and it's building up a catalogue of frequencies to help us detect certain health issues. On the camera side of things, we're looking at medical imaging. We're looking at, from a microscope, what type of add-ons that can be added to the phone and what can be delivered through our phone to patients. But our key here, I mentioned earlier about the connection with the clinicians or the GPs, is we want to do this through GP prescribed apps, so that there is that level of control and regulation still involved there. Another one we're working on is in the point of care space is vision testing. So there is quite a lot out there at the moment. There's one really interesting project it's now coming into a company called Peak that originated in the UK, and that is helping people in third world countries to prevent blindness. 80% of blindness is curable in developing countries. So there's a huge market for that, but we are looking at building a platform, and this is working with clinicians in this space of actually revolutionising the common vision eye test that we all have had to go through and changing that. So I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that in the coming months, but it is still early stages at the moment. And just to finish on a couple of slides here from my colleagues, Sazi and Michael Barris, who are pioneering the Internet of Bionano things. So this is very, very new, and it's more at the basic level of research that I talked about at the beginning. So this is right at the biological cell level within the body, being able to program cells in the body. For example, this would really have an effect on changing drug delivery, drug design and drug delivery, and how we can move along in that area. And again, just on another area, mobile terahertz imaging, taking something that's quite huge down into the mobile phone and making this available to the wider public. And again, taking it really out there, augmented reality for nanosurgery. Again, another area that is quite new. It's very much early days in our research in this. And again, Dr. Michael Barris is our main researcher in this. So if we have any other questions on that, I can get him involved as well. So our biggest thing is on partnerships, and again, anything mHealth or connected health, we need to bring together, I think, in a collective. So we're just talking to anybody in the clinicians, life sciences, drug delivery, hardware, nanotech, biosware, networking, just generally in that kind of connected healthcare space. We'd be happy to talk to you and see if we can also assist you through Enterprise Ireland, through innovation partnerships, or through European funding, and what we can help you with on that. That's me. Thank you very much.